Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, bpTT has paused its Kanikonna subsea natural gas development project off Trinidad's southeast coast to prioritize the Manakin-Cocuina cross-border gas field. Wasn't that the same gas field and deal that we need with Venezuela, that the mighty morphin Ghanaian coal pot bicycle PNM Patriots was saying was basically dead now because Delcy will not make any deal with Prime Minister Kamala Passabi-Sessa because she stands in solidarity with America and basically condemned the communist regime in Venezuela. Isn't that the same deal? Correct me if I'm wrong, Energy company officials stated that the decision allows bpTT to maintain capital discipline and stay within its 2026 budget while fast-tracking much-needed gas supplies from the Columbus Basin. By shifting this focus to the Manakin-Cocuina field, which straddles the maritime border between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela. So it sounds like the same thing, not so? Alrighty then, PNM Patriots. bpTT is capitalizing on recent regulatory clearances to unlock immediate resource value. While the unsanctioned Kanikonna project remains a viable option with bpTT's long-term portfolio, its progression has been temporarily halted in favor of this higher priority cross-border asset. Now you see, this is when you can give credit when credit is due. This is a good news for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, including myself. And these are the types of good decisions being made by the UNC government and Prime Minister Kamala Passabi-Sessa. But as I said on my other news channel a little while ago, a lot of the decisions being made, including the UNC's continued loyalty to a very corrupt Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, is overshadowing all the good that is being done, along with taxes and the fees and the fines. All those things will add up, and it could very well affect us, hinder any sort of chances of winning the elections in 2030. Speaking about the controversies, a Trinidad Express poll revealed deeply divided public opinion on the performance of Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara, with views split between his strategic overhauls and ongoing crime concerns. On one hand, supporters and government officials praise his intelligence-led approach. Yeah, we all know the UNC real praising him, noting that restructured deployments and coordinated joint exercises with the Defense Force have made the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service more proactive in combating gang activity. Yeah, but while they are actually also behaving like a gang, not the UNC, TTPS. His transparent public communication has also been welcomed by some who appreciate his measured updates to the citizenry. Yeah, he really loves to talk. He loves to talk. He should really stop talking that much. On the other hand, critics argue that these qualitative shifts have not translated into a tangible reduction in crime, leaving many citizens experiencing a pervasive fear in public spaces. The detection rate remains extremely low here in Trinidad and Tobago because of a corrupt and an incompetent TTPS. A major point of condemnation is his refusal to transparently address rising instances of extrajudicial killings, an approach that critics argue has severely damaged public trust in the law enforcement agency and alienated communities seeking justice. And sadly, my UNC government is standing in solidarity with the corrupt police service instead of we the people. Consequently, many commentators award his tenure a low rating, demanding that the executive focus less on public relations. I'll tell you, he just like to talk, and more on delivering concrete statistical achievements alongside strict officer accountability. My response: I rate Guevara because, of course, they asked what rating we would give him. I rate Guevara a big 0. If I could say -10, I would even say -10. He's a greater failure, people, and more untrustworthy than Erla, who I used to call Pastor Praying Mantis. Erla, she was annoying. She used to basically talk a lot of tata, right? But he's even more untrustworthy than Erla or any of the other past commissioners of police. You know, it's a sad reality. As much as I had a lot of issues with Gary Griffith, he definitely is probably one of the best we ever had. It's just that he took advantage and abused his authority as commissioner of police. But in general, basically, he did a much better job, and that's probably because he's a very intelligent man. He's just an intelligent man that has a very serious problem with arrogance. Something that hopefully one day he overcomes. Maybe, just maybe, if he asks God to deliver that and deliver him from that spirit or nature that he has, he could become a much better member of society that can lead us in some sort of way. I would never really like him to be our prime minister, but I believe he does. He could definitely serve a very significant role in our country. Gary Griffith, I'm talking about. Gary Griffith.
Monday, May 25, 2026 weather report for Trinidad and Tobago. Monday, May 25, 2026 in Trinidad and Tobago will feature variably cloudy, hazy and breezy conditions with a mix of sunshine, regional showers, and a low to medium 30% to 40% chance of isolated afternoon thunderstorms. According to the official Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service, daytime maximum temperatures are forecasted to reach 32 degrees Celsius in Trinidad Piarco and 31 degrees Celsius in Tobago Crown Point, dropping to a comfortable low around 24 degrees Celsius overnight. A mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust remains present in the atmosphere, producing slightly hazy horizons. Marine conditions. Open waters will experience moderate seas with wave heights peaking between 2.0 to 2.5 meters. Sheltered areas will remain generally calm with waves below 1.0 meter, though it can get choppy in or near heavy downpours. Winds will blow steadily from the east to southeast at 15 to 35 kilometers per hour, with higher gusts possible during thunderstorm activity. Safety notes. Individuals sensitive to respiratory changes should take precautions due to the active Saharan dust. Brief street or flash flooding is possible in low-lying areas if localized heavy downpours occur.
Regional news now. Guyanese President Dr. Irfan Ali announced on Friday that the country is building a 24-hour cyber emergency response system to protect its digital networks. This new system is part of a larger national plan to improve cyber security and make Guyana's digital infrastructure more resilient against online threats. Speaking about the initiative, the president explained that the round-the-clock defense system will help detect, prevent, and respond to cyber attacks in real time. By setting up these constant monitoring tools, the government aims to safeguard both public services and private businesses from growing global digital dangers. This major tech upgrade shows Guyana's commitment to securing its rapid economic growth and protecting sensitive national data from hackers. Guyana continues to prosper at an exponential rate, while we here in Trinidad and Tobago continue to play extremely dangerous political games. Jamaica's state standards body has put forward a comprehensive road construction specification for public comment, a move that comes as billions of dollars in government road repair programs face persistent criticism over the quality and durability of their work. You know, like it's how when PNM actually did work, or whenever they really did it, but they did it in Trinidad and Tobago, here in Trinidad and Tobago, it ended up cracking up and just mashing up in a short space of time. Boy, anyhow, the Bureau of Standards Jamaica is inviting public comment until July 4th on a draft standard that sets technical requirements for every layer of road construction, from the earthworks beneath a road surface to the asphalt wearing course that the vehicles drive on. Yeah, because I'm telling you, even here in Trinidad and Tobago, it looks lovely when it's paved. But within weeks or months, it just cracks up. Well, like here in Lindsay Street, by the corner of Lindsay Street and Gilk Street, We end up with a big, deep pothole that is almost like a size of a small pond. I call it the lake of Lindsay Street and Gilk Street. Within a couple months, no matter how much time they pave there, they need to do something different there. Because you're just wasting taxpayers' dollars by paving it, and within months, it ends up a huge pothole again. After several months of heated debate, Barbados' famous Kensington Oval is officially set to host international cricket matches once again in 2026. Wonderful news for Barbados. Cricket fans across the region are celebrating the decision, which ensures that the historic stadium in Bridgetown will remain a premier venue for world-class sporting events this year. The resolution comes as a major relief to local organizers and businesses who rely heavily on the tourism and excitement that these massive international games bring to the island. Exactly, a lot of tourists going to attend these matches, sporting events. With the debate finally settled, grounds keepers and officials are now focusing entirely on preparing the iconic pitch and stands to welcome players and spectators from around the globe. International news now. President Donald Trump announced that the United States and Iran have largely negotiated a major framework agreement to help end their ongoing conflict. How much times we will hear that? How much times? How much times? How many times? According to U.S. officials, this initial deal includes a plan for Iran to eventually give up its entire stockpile of highly enriched uranium. Sounds good, eh? That part sounds good, of course. However, top Iranian officials and state media quickly pushed back against these statements, claiming that no such agreement has been made. I don't know where Trump has been getting his information from. We all know, everybody knows, and Trump knows that there's no one specific leader in Iran right now because the leaders were eliminated by both Israel and America. They insisted that Iran has not committed to giving up its enriched uranium and argued that its nuclear program is not even part of the current peace talks. So you see, people, every time people start to clap and say, Amen, Trump, the master of the art of the deal, every time they start to give him praise and honor and glory, the Iranians come back and say, no, we never said that. Trump, you're playing games with demonic people. You're playing games with terrorists who have sworn to destroy little Satan and big Satan. Little Satan is Israel, big Satan is America. How much longer will you continue to play these games with these terrorists? Finish the job. And if you don't finish the job, then you know what? Just leave everything, go your way back in America, and leave it up to God to end up handling it. Because in the Ezekiel 38 war, anyhow you take it, when Iran joins with the rest of kings of the north, Turkey and Russia to invade Israel, God is going to set them up, make them feel as though, yes, give them the confidence to invade. And then he's going to utterly destroy them before they ever touch the soil in Israel. So you can play how much games you want to do. You could give them, give back Iran all the billions of dollars so that they can continue to sponsor terrorism around the Middle East. Because that's what you're going to do. If they end up agreeing to give up the uranium, if they do, and you give them, and you end up giving them the access to all those billions of dollars that were frozen, their assets that were frozen, they're going to use that money to sponsor terrorism. They're going to fund Hezbollah. They're going to fund the Houthis. They're going to fund Hamas or whatever is left of Hamas. But definitely the Houthis and Hezbollah. And what what Houthis and Hezbollah are going to do, even whatever remains of Hamas, they're going to use those weapons to be able to attack Israel. But you don't care because you're quite in America. That's why you don't actually care. You pretend to care, and probably in some part of your mind, you really do care to an extent, sir. But I don't know, but if you really did care, if you really genuinely did care, you wouldn't be making any kind of foolish decisions that you've been doing recently.
Bible quote of the day. Romans 8:24-28 NKJV. For we were saved in this hope, but hope that is seen is not hope, for why does one still hope for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we eagerly wait for it with perseverance. Likewise, the Spirit also helps in our weaknesses. For we do not know what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself makes intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Now He who searches the hearts knows what the mind of the Spirit is, because He makes intercession for the saints according to the will of God. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.